We'll do that again. Sure, sure. Yeah. No, she didn't write it. She has a work, that's what she said. Hey, Sripat, can you see my screen?
Yes.
So quickly let me log out of the screen application. Okay. So let me log into the application. So now again, this is username is not case sensitive, but password is case sensitive.
Okay.
So you'll be given this URL. Okay, so once you have this URL, you can directly log into the application, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to download any additional softwares or plugins. Okay, just like in EBS, we used to log in, we used to download Java. Right, this
Right. Right.
doesn't need anything. All you need to do is just use this URL and log into the application. In case if you forget the password, you always have this option forget password, and you can
Right.
reset the password. So make sure your user account is linked to an email ID so that you get the email notification so that you
Mm-hmm.
can reset the password. All right. Now
Okay.
here you have a language preference. Once you choose a different language, once you get into the application, so you'll see some of the you know uh, navigations in different languages preference that you have selected here. All right. So again, you
Right.
can change this once you log in also from the preferences. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
you just click on sign in, and then you enter into the cloud applications. Again, this is a SaaS model where you'll be only uh, where you'll be login and use this application, and you pay for it whatever you have enabled for the applications.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these are all your icons. These icons will determine what are the roles that you're having in the applications. Just like in EBS, right? So you have purchasing, inventory, order
Mm-hmm.
management. Same way here also you'll have the same thing, but depends upon the role and responsible what you have. So compared to cloud, right? So you have EBS. This is I'm just trying to give you a relation between these two systems. In
Okay.
EBS, you have a user and you have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
This responsibility will have a menu, correct? And
Right.
you have a sub menu, okay? And let's say, for example, you have operating unit. So, okay. So you have operating unit, and here you have, let's say, for example, US, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's say, for example, it's purchasing, or let's say order management, order management. So what you'll do in order management, probably your responsibility would be, creating sales order, pricing, and everything. Correct.
Right.
Right. So now you can restrict based on the menu submenus. Let's say, for example, just assume that you have order management super user. You have access. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you give the operating unit access, you cannot perform the transactions. Is that right?
Correct.
Which is default operating unit, whatever it is. MO operating unit, default operating unit, whatever it is, right? So that first you need a responsibility, then you need a profile option.
Okay.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
When you have these two combinations, one is a role, then the one role is nothing but I can just call this as a responsibility. Then you need access. This is order management. This is operating unit or just or okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is this clear?
Correct. Yeah.
This is how it works in EBS. Correct?
Hmm.
Now in cloud, it's the same thing. This is called as a role. Here you'll have privileges. This is called as a data access. That's it.
Okay.
Clear? So though you have order management role, you cannot directly go and perform the transaction. You need to make sure you have assigned to the corresponding business unit. Here instead of operating unit, it is called as business unit. Clear? There is no
Hmm.
concept of operating unit here.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
But if it comes to inventory, inventory is the same thing. Same inventory org, inventory super user. Then you have inventory org access. Same thing. Inventory super user and where inventory org you give access. In
That's
cloud,
right.
it's the same thing. It doesn't change in cloud.
Hmm.
Clear, Sripad?
Yes, yes, bro.
Okay. So this is how it works in terms of roles and responsibility in the system. Okay. So what
So
I'm going to do,
what do we call for submenus in this cloud?
what is it?
Submenu. What do we call as submenu in the cloud?
Yeah, that is what privileges basically. Privileges and security. That is what it is called here. It is. We have a
Okay.
separate session on that. I'm going to show you. But just think that at the 10,000 feet height, just understand that that in terms of the structure when you compare EBS to cloud, how it relates.
Hmm.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So now on the left side, this is called as navigators. Ideally, when you click on this, it takes you to it gives you power, displays as a pop-up, and depends upon the role that you have access. Then you can click on it and you can navigate to the screen, and you
Okay.
can perform the transactions. Just like this is your sales order management screen where you can navigate to the screen. In case if you want to check how many orders are hold, you click on this. Again, you have different orders which are on hold. So you
Hmm.
open this, and this will tell you how many orders are there, and it says they're on hold. When I click on this, it ideally takes me to the page. Okay, this is my sales order, which tells me that this is currently on hold. Okay, so if
Hmm.
we click on actions and
View holds.
yeah, holds, and apply this hold. Okay, wait. In case if you don't have the what do you call access, you cannot view the data. Okay, so well, I need to access the roles. Okay, but to just give an idea, right? So this is your screen where you can see that the orders are on hold. But again, in case if you go to the home page again, these are all your analytics dashboards or
Hmm.
infolettes. Oracle, in terms of Oracle terminology, these are called as infolettes. The data is represented in graphical representation, which is like analytics. So rather than searching, it just displays here. Now you can just click on those orders, or you can click on these infolettes, and it takes you to that page. Okay, it takes you.
Can I customize this dashboard or the info?
So these are all seeded, and you can, if you want, you can hide, you can change these things. But again, there is a limitation in terms of how you want to display these data. But if in case if you think you want to hide these, you can still do this one.
No, this
Okay?
is fine. But how do we create a custom dashboard?
These are all standard. These are all seeded out of the box things, which comes. This is not something what we have developed. This is out of the box.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is just an overview of the one of the screen in order management. Now if you see, if you go to tools, okay, there is something called as same thing. You have schedule process, reports analytics. Okay, when you click on schedule process, ideally this is a screen which helps you to run the schedule processes, as well as you can search and schedule, and you
Okay.
can run the process ad hoc in case if you want. This way you can run this one. So
Okay.
in EBS we have view request. This is similar to that, but it's a different navigation altogether. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in case if let's say for example if there is a program that you have submitted, when you click on this, it ideally displays what are the parameters that you have used to submit the report, and what is the log files, and what is the output also.
Got
Okay. Now here on the top you see some icons. These are all global icons. Whenever you navigate to any page, you will still see these global icons, and this is your notification link or notification icon, which displays all your notifications. Which displays all your notifications. Okay. Now this is your home page. Okay. So when you click
it.
on this, it ideally takes you to the home page or the main screen of the application. This is any page if you navigate, when you click on this, it ideally takes you to the home page. Right. Most of the web browsers or applications have this icon so that you can easily navigate to the home page. All right. Now
Okay.
this, yeah, quick question.
No, no.
Okay, fine. Now, as I mentioned, right, depends upon the role that the user is playing in the company, he'll be given certain access. Now, there are two kinds of users in terms of consultant as well as business user. Consultant and a business user. Consultant is the one who is actually implementing the application, and business user is the one who actually uses the application. Use application to perform.
Day-to-day activities.
Yeah, perform is or her duties. Okay,
Hmm.
so consultant is like us who actually understand what is the business requirement, what they want.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
what is that they want to implement. Okay, in case if they have different operations in the system, maybe let's say supply chain management or finance or HRMS or maybe production or manufacturing, right? Now, or procurement process. Now, it depends upon the business requirements and operations what they are currently doing. Now, those modules we are going to implement. Okay. Now,
Okay.
so any ERP system, if you take any ERP system, now what we do is initially we enable certain modules or applications so that based on their current requirement. Let's say in case if I have to implement only procurement, so what I go to do, I click on this account and there is something called a setup and maintenance. Again, we have a detailed session on all these modules, but I just want to give you a overview of the screens. Okay. Now, let's say in case if I am implementing procurement. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just click on this procurement. Click on this procurement and I click on actions, then click on go to offerings. And I enable this procurement option. So when I click on this enable option, what it means, I'm going to implement the procurement module or application, and I'm going to configure the system based on the requirements. Right? Now there is something called as related documents. When you click on it, it ideally gives you more information about your setup and task, associated features, related business objects. That is what it does.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in case if you want to know the new features of the product, you always have an option called new features. Which means, let's say, for example, sometimes what happens, you want to understand what are the new features of this application or what are the upcoming features. So, this is a basic feature of most of the products. It can be a mobile also. In mobile also, it tells you new software update about phone, new software update. Probably, there might be new feature which will be coming up in new releases, right? So, those will be part of these releases. So, you can see what are all the new features. Okay, what are the available features in case if you want to use the current feature which are available, you can still use this. or feature updates. This is what it shows you, opt-in features. Okay. Again, some of them are good to use. Some of them are only used based on the customer requirements, the customer usage. It's not that there is a feature you have to enable it all. It's not like that. If it only suits for the company, then you are able to enable it, or else there is no point of enabling and using it. Okay.
How do we see the this one? Which version it is? Like we have
Correct.
in EBS, right? 12
Correct.
to 3
Yes,
and all.
I'm going to show you that also. Okay. Now here, this is called as set user account settings. When you click here, you have an option to sign out. Then you have different options here. Set preferences, which is like to have your local preferences like language, change your passwords, and all these things. Right now, you have something called as edit pages, which ideally helps you to customize this page in case if you want to change the theme or upload the logo, or
Hmm.
probably upload the any wallpaper. You can still do this using the edit pages option. Okay. Then flex fields, it's the same concept what you have in EBS and here, but there is slight difference compared to that. Then you have something called as application help. When you click on this application help, it ideally takes you to the documentation page. So here you
Oh.
can, in case if you want to go through the documentation, click on the module or the, application what you want to know about. Click on the auto management, let's say, and here you can review the documentation.
Hmm.
In case if you want to go through the implementation guide, you have all these things, APIs. In case if you want to implement, you can just click on this and you can implement it. Okay. Getting started with order management, implement order management, all these things. You can just click on this and download this in a PDF format. Clear?
Got
So
it.
this is where you can directly navigate and download the PDFs, which is like for implementation as well as for support, everything. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if I go to APIs, all books. Okay. So there are a lot of documentations here. See
Okay.
this? There are a lot of documentation about different modules here. Now, in case if you want to know the table names, let's say for example, if you want to know where the data is stored, in which table the data is stored, now you have these tables and views of common feature, or you can tables and views for supply chain. Just click on this and it will display all this. Now, what you can do, you can, in case if you want to search for inventory, okay, this is your tables for inventory management.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
yeah. In case if you want to search for transactions, inventory transactions. These are transaction table.
So
TRS.
no need to remember like in EBS, we go to database and we need to
Right.
click.
Yeah, you don't have to remember these table names. Again,
Right.
it's an experience. Ideally, the moment you start working on these, right,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to remember this. It just you can start typing and you can do work on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, material. Tables. So whenever you create a transaction or whenever you do something in the application, right, that data, whatever you have entered, right, in the front end will be stored in the back end in some tables. Okay. In case if you want to search everything from front end, sometimes you can see only few fields. In case if you want to create some reports, ideally what you need to do, you have to go to the tables and create a report, right? So for that,
Okay.
ideally you have to navigate to all these tables, create a SQL query, and create a report. Okay. Now all these tables, right?
Mm.
Depends what data you're entering, and based on that, you can search these tables. For everything, you have for inventory, you have for procurement, you have for order management, you have. All you can do just make sure order management, order management tables. In case if you want to search, you can search here. So, Okay, sales orders, sales credits, everything.
Hmm.
So data is stored here. So these are the table names. In case if you don't know the table names, you can always come back to this page and you can start looking for the table names. Again, this displays everything. Let's say in case if you see here, right, inventory material transaction. So this page will give you details of what are the table columns, what is the usage of this table, everything you can go through this. Okay,
Okay.
now if I click here, see this column name, data type, length, maximum what is the length, precision, is it required or not required, and what is the comments, field map, flex field mapping, everything it shows you.
Hmm.
So that you don't have to worry about this. All you can do just come back to this and you can review these pages. Okay. So this is called as docs.oracle.com, docs.oracle.com, where you can come to the screen and you can work on this. Okay. Now there is something called as again, file-based data import. File. In case if you want to load the data into application, right? There are different ways how you can do. Either you can enter manually or you can use spreadsheet. Let's say my requirement is, let's say for example,
So one thing over here, this file with FPGA templates are already predefined, right?
see again, I'll tell you what is this. Okay, just give me a minute.
So my question is, what things we can use it for this FPGA templates? What are like from the generic to the standard part? What are things which it will be involved?
Correct. So let me give you a high level overview. So this is your inventory or transition. Just give me one. Let's say for example, let's take a scenario. You have third party system. Okay. So he's trying to understand what is the strategy or what is the process. So this is your Oracle Cloud. Now here you have, let's say, the data here. Items, they have 100 items.
Hmm.
Sales orders, they have 200 sales orders. Inventory transactions or stock. I can call it as on and stock. Okay, I have, let's say, for example, for 500, 300 record, 300 records are there from different inventory organizations. Okay, purchase orders, they are 500, something like this. Now all this data has to be moved to cloud.
Hmm.
All this data has to be moved to cloud. Okay, now there are, how do we do, either you have to enter manually,
Right.
which is the first step. If you don't want to enter, then probably you need a mechanism where you want to use upload process. It's called as bulk upload, so that you can move data to Oracle. Okay, either you have to enter the manual or you have to use a bulk upload. So which means you need a spreadsheet mechanism or some format where Oracle can recognize and load the data. So what we
Hmm.
do now, directly if you upload Excel, Oracle doesn't know that format. So Oracle has the format called as FBDI, which is called as file-based data import. So these are all seeded, and you can download these file formats from docs.oracle.com. For inventory, you have, for purchase order, you have sales orders, items, item structures. For everything, you have FBDA templates. So what
Hmm.
you'll do, you download these templates and enter the data. You enter the data and upload into applications. Again, I'm just giving you, two-step process, but ideally there are a lot of things that you have to do because, preparing the file itself takes a lot of time. Understand what data you have to enter, what field you have to enter, which one is a mandatory, and once you do this, then you have to create a CSV file. Then it creates the zip file. Then you have to upload it to the application, which runs the interface program, then which runs the import program. Two
Okay.
programs you have to run: interface program and inter program. Interface ideally, takes the data and put it to interface. Import takes the data from
Put it
to
in the database.
interface to base tables. That's it. Clear?
Yes, this is fine. Can we create a custom NVIDIA templates for the
No, no,
no, no,
no,
right? Because what
no.
happens, like I am working for another client, right? So they require something else which needs to be get transferred from one system to the Oracle system. So can we customize those templates or prepare a Excel accordingly?
No, but that doesn't work like this, and that doesn't. That's not a right requirement. In case see, FBDIs are standard, which means irrespective of your business, irrespective of your client, it can be of business process. You have hundreds fields here. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you don't want to use it, you can don't want to use it. Probably there are like 100 fields. Most of the business will not consume 100 fields. Probably 60% itself they'll consume, or 40% they'll consume. So
Okay.
what most of the project, see, in case if you are say, taking the data from different system to cloud, right? Ideally, anyways, you do the mapping. Here you have number, you call it a sales order number. You map that. Here they get SKU name. It can be item number. You already have the. You are anyways going to do all the mapping. Okay. Now, in which tell me a scenario where you think you will have to customize every day.
No, just a thought because see, some customers might come up with some of the new naming conventions, right? For example, we they call it something else for an item or something, and we call it as something else in Oracle, but we doesn't have that. So to order to capture that, how do we
That is
behave?
something what correct, but that is also what you do currently also, right? If it is EBS also, you actually create staging table and the conversions whatever you do. But the thing is that you create your own table staging. But in interface, Oracle has this pretty much the same interface table. You cannot going to create new one, right? In DFF, you have where you can capture additional information. Comments, you have where you're going to comments, enter the comments. So in FBDI, you have most of the fields. In case if you think there is a field that is not available in cloud, you always have to create a DFF
Okay.
and you capture the data in the DFF. That's what you
Yes.
do. I don't think there will be a requirement for you to create a customized FBDA template. I don't think that need will be required in any of the projects I've seen. Because see, these are all generic templates, right? See, again, just think like that. When you're creating a item, let's assume if you're creating an item on the item master in cloud, on the item master in cloud, probably you have 50 fields to capture item details.
Mhm.
Item master, you have 50 fields and probably 10, 20 EFF or DFF. I'm just giving an example, okay? Now, this is
Okay.
what you have. Apart from that, you cannot capture anything. This is it. What Oracle is giving. Let's say, for example, you have a system, third party system. Okay, there you have item information and probably they have 100 fields. Now, either you can use these 100 fields to manage here itself.
Mhm.
Clear? You don't have
Got
any
it.
option here. Or you have 50 fields only here. Still you can accommodate this. Probably, there are actually capturing more information here for an item. They're capturing more information here. So what you can do, now you need to understand how you need to map this item master to this item master. Some fields are available here, X, which is not available here, which means you are going to use a DFF, additional fields.
Okay.
Okay, or there might be some functionality here which is not available here. It's a gap. It's a gap,
Mm.
or you can use category. I'm just giving you an example. They capture some additional information here which is not available here. Standard field. Either you use DFF or probably it's a gap.
Okay.
But I don't think I've seen any customer who has challenges in terms of capturing the information from third-party system to the Oracle system using FPDS in terms of loading.
And one doubt I have, like, do we have a flex wheels concept in cloud?
Which one?
Flex wheels concept.
Yeah, that is what I told you, right? You have key flex fields. I mean, descriptive flex fields. Yes, we have EFF, extensive flex fields. We have that concept.
Oh,
It's an Oracle terminology. Yes, we have whatever you have in EBS, we have the same thing in here also.
hmm.
But it's
Okay.
slightly different compared to what do you call in EBS. Little bit, not too much, but at least when you see for the first time, you'll see some difference. But later on, you'll understand how it is structured in the cloud.
Hmm, hmm. Got it. Got it. I'm clear on this. Thanks.
So it's like this, right? From the legacy system, you are trying to move something on the cloud.
Correct.
Is it something called as migration?
Migration, data conversions, migrations basically. Correct. Moving the data from one instance to the other instance. Ideally, we use this spreadsheet mechanism, enter the data and load it.
So
So, th-
we have a role in this too. I mean, sorry to ask, but so what I'm saying is, in one of the previous slides, only the technical users, used to get more and more like,
correct. Here also, see, in cloud, there is nothing like technical. More from the function side we do. Actually, Sripad is from EBS. So, in EBS world, or EBS is also Oracle product itself.
yeah, on-prem.
On-prem something like this, right? There, it's more of a EBS technical side, which means they have to run the pro. See, in EBS world, right? We prepare the file and we are done. Functions we are done. So technical team write code. They run the SQL to move data, basically to upload and move to staging table. Then run again one more program to move to interface. Program to import. Basically, import we can run this import programs. Okay, but in cloud this is not like this. You just prepare the file, upload. There is no technical involved here. No way. You don't have to run any I mean SQL queries here, unless there are some records which are errored out, and you want to know why it is errored out. Then you have to go to the backend, understand the records, see what is the interface table, what is this. See, for everything you have an interface tables. You have interface tables. These are all your interface tables where the data resides there. If it is stuck, it will tell you what is the error message. You fix it and you run it again. So there is nothing technical here. Yeah, and it's quite easy. It's not like you are going to uh, write any code or problem. Technical stuff is not required. All you do as a functional, you know what to see. The reason why in previous systems we used to do technical because to move the data to database, ideally you have to run the programs. Here it's not like that. It's just the upload application, SaaS application. You already have a file. Oracle is giving the file. Enter the data. Make sure the data required fields are entered, and upload it to the application. That's it, and run the program. It's quite easy. Once you start using it, you feel that it's more user friendly. And as a functional, you know what data you have to enter and what data you're expecting from the business and what are the fields which are mandatory. Clear, Sripad?
Hmm. Got it.
Right. So these are all your tables. you can click on this docs.oracle.com and come to the screen, and you can search this. Again, this has got, it's a repository for of Oracle where you can have all the documentations. In case if you want to go through the documentation, you can just come to the screen and you can do it. Can be a get started, playbooks, users, implementation, administrator, configuration extensions, any extension. If you want to go through that, you can go through the security in terms of security, what security is available in order management. You can just go through this. Most of them are self-explanatory, but on top of that, if you want to go through some APIs, this is more of a technical stuff. APIs is more of a technical. So you have APIs for this one. Then you have videos. In case if you want to go through some videos, you don't have
Okay.
to log into the application. All you can do, just go to docs.oracle.com, then you can get into this, and you can go through the videos. These are all the videos. In case if you want
Okay.
to,
Can you paste this link URL in the chat? I'll keep it with me.
can you see if you're able to access this? So you can go to this, and you can go through the videos. Most of them are self-explanatory, but again, in case if you want to search for anything, you can filter based on implement.
What? I've
Clear?
been able to do this. Yeah.
You're able to access, Sripad?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So again, these are limited videos which are available. Uh, but in case if you have access to Oracle University, you can basically you can do a lot of stuff here.
Mhm.
Okay. It's called as docs.oracle.com. Docs.oracle.com. I just give you this. All right. Again, in case, see again, this page pretty much contains everything about Oracle Cloud applications in terms of documentation. Anything that you want to know about the product,
So,
it's available here. It's your repository. You can say anything about the Oracle Cloud application. This is like a help center. It's called as help center where you can where this contains everything. Okay. Now, if you see, get started. In case if you want to understand, what is this all about? How do you want to start this? So you click on this get started. You can see this. Okay. Or any new features which are available will be part of this.
Okay.
Everything. Okay. Any new features which are available will be part of this. What's new? Cloud releases. Okay. So this is for any new features which are available in system, right? They will be part of here. So you also have your FAQs. Out, see some of the documentations you have here. Let's say create custom report, feature listing reports, some sort of demos. Again, you can just what do you call, explore. You can see a lot of things here. I mean, again, you are going to search only for supply chain, you'll see this.
Got it.
Clear?
Yes, bro.
Okay. So again, there is a new concept called Redwood Pages, which is implemented by Oracle. It's a new look and feel of how the pages looks like. Okay. Right. So now, if you click here, right, you'll see the. Just give me a minute. Finish load. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. Now here you have about this application, which is nothing but about this record. What you have in eBase, right? Record history, where it tells
Uh-huh.
you the this is the latest
Sure.
version of the applications. Okay, 24D, which is currently we are here. Okay, so again, this is your global search, where in case if you want to search something, you can just enter here, and anything that is that matches with the keyword, then system will display the information just like this. It can be a name or a task or a favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a global icons basically. The global search you can say wildcard. So again, this settings icon will determine how to what is that you want to see here, which should be part of the search criteria. Okay, it can be a people, it can be a task, it can be favorites or recent items. So anything that matches, system will display this information here.
Oh,
All right. You can just play. I mean, you can just log in and you can explore this. It's pretty. I mean, once you log in, right? These these are like icons which are displayed based on the roles and responsibility that you actually have access to in the applications. Okay, you're following it, Shripal?
sorry.
Okay, fine. So today I just want to keep it very light. From tomorrow we'll do the deep dive, and I'm going to start user training, user management tomorrow, which is security, which is the first topic of applications. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, Triple.
And Pramod, can you share me this URL link?
Sure, sure. I'll ask Tirupati to uh, send this information to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Triple.